Hello guys, in this session we are going to learn about the Lombok API, means what is basically Lombok API and why Lombok API is being used nowadays. So before going to the Lombok API in detail, first we need to understand what is Lombok API. So basically Lombok is an annotation based library. Basically it is an annotation based library which allows us to reduce the boilerplate code from the model class of your project. What it is indicating? That means there is some API. The Lombok API is providing some annotation, and these annotation we are going to use in our model class that was not previously being used by the developer before the Lombok API came into the picture, and now the Lombok API is available for the developer usage. So that annotation can be used inside the model class and we can reduce the boilerplate code from our project. So first we need to understand what is boilerplate code. So basically boilerplate code is a section of code which is available in your project and which is basically repeated multiple times in your files. So this is the basic definition of Lombok. Now we need to understand why Lombok API. So to understand this, I am going to take an example which makes you aware that before we are going to use the Lombok API, how we were dealing with the model class, and after using the Lombok API, how we are going to deal with the model class. So for that we need to go on the IntelliJ IDEA tool, and there I will try to make you understand that how we are going to use the Lombok API, and without using the Lombok API what was the legacy approach that we were following, right? So I just created a project inside the IntelliJ IDEA, and the project name is the Lombok test. This is basically a Maven project which is containing the pom.xml. So my first scenario is I am going to use an employee class. I created just an employee class inside the Java com.myproject package, and this employee class I am going to use without using the Lombok API, right? So let us assume that this employee class is having the two variable. One is the employee name and second is the employee ID. These two variable are private variable, so I am going to define these two private variable, private, and these are string type, private string emp name and private string emp id. So one is the employee name and second is the employee id. So for that what we were doing, assume that this employee class is a model class which is going to take the employee data. When we are going to set some information, this employee class will be responsible to set the information into the employee object, and if I wanted to get the information from the employee object, then this employee class object will be responsible to give the information from that object. So for that I am going to write an argumented constructor. This should be a public employee, and the first parameter I am just copying from here, that is string employee name, and second parameter is employee ID, right? I will initialize these two parameters with the current class reference. This dot employee name is equal to employee name, and this dot employee ID equal to employee ID. So we initialized with the current class reference variable. With the current class object, these reference variable has been initialized. So what are the information that you are going to pass as an employee name and employee ID at the time of creation of an employee object? That information will be assigned to the current class reference variable, that is nothing but it is a employee name and employee ID. So I am not going to write the setter and getter method over here. So what I will do, I will select these two variables over here and I will just right click over there and click on generate. So it will ask what you want to generate. You wanted to generate the setter and getter. See the option of constructor also there. You can generate the constructor as well. Equal and hash code method also you can generate. ToString method also you can generate. So I am interested to generate the setter and getter method. So I will just click on this and just select the first variable as well and click on OK. Once you will click on generate, you will find that it is generating the setter and getter method. So I will just cut this portion from here and paste here. Okay. Now my setter and getter method is available inside the employee class. So for the employee name, we have the get employee name method, set employee name method, and for employee ID also we have the setter and getter method, get employee ID and set employee ID. Assume that I am going to just call these methods. So for that I just write a client class which is having a main method client.java. So this client.java is, I'm going to create a main method over here, and under this main method I'm going to create an employee class object, employee equal to new employee, and here you have to provide the employee name which is nothing but it is a string type. So employee name I can provide as a Dev, and employee ID I can provide as a 1458. This is an employee ID, right? So you created an employee object. Now if I wanted to get this employee information, so what I need to do, I will just write system.out.println, right? Employee name is plus, I will get the information from employee object, employee.get employee name, and the same way if I wanted to get employee ID, then again sysout statement which will contain the employee ID information, and here the method calling will be changed as an employee ID. So let us run this program and see our code is working or not. So I will run this client.java and I will be interested to see the output of this particular client.java program. So employee name is Dev, which is already given at the time of creation of an employee, and employee ID is 1456, which is given at the time of creation of an employee. Okay, so we have to, let me refactor this particular class. This is not employee, this is not a client. Actually this is a spelling mistake, CLIENT. Now we are going to see that if I am going to use the Lombok API, then what will be the change in this model class. So for using the Lombok API, I just taken the dependency for the Lombok, that is org.project Lombok, and I am going to use the version 1.18.20 which I have given inside the pom.xml, and this pom.xml will be responsible to provide all the annotation. Means internally it is loading all the library related content and make it available for our project, right? So what I need to do, I will just create one more class, employee new. This is the new class, new employee class. So here I am going to again declare the two private variable, that is nothing but employee name, string emp name, and private string emp id, right? Now what will happen here, I am not going, because I am going to use the Lombok API, so I am not going to provide the argumented constructor. I am not going to provide the setter and getter method. So all these things will be done by the Lombok API, and for that you have to use some annotation. So for argumented constructor, what we are going to use here is @all argument constructor. See, when I just type this annotation, it is automatically importing the all argument constructor from Lombok API. Now for setter and getter, I will use @getter from Lombok, and I will use @setter from Lombok. So now my task is completed. If I will compare this newly employee class, which is using this Lombok API and Lombok annotation, then you can see how many lines of code here. Total lines of code is actually I can say that 26 line of code. This, if I will remove the spaces, so 27 line of code that you have to write, right? You have to provide the argument constructor, either you have to generate the argument constructor, and these all information should be available at the compile time in your source file. But here what is happening in the new employee class, we are using the Lombok annotation @all argument constructor, which is a replacement of this particular things, where we are going to provide the argumented constructor for employee class. The second annotation, that is @getter, which is basically responsible to provide the get method for all the variables that is declared inside the employee class, get employee name, get employee ID. And the third annotation that I am using here, @setter, which is basically responsible to provide the set method that is available in this employee class. So all these methods will be generated, and it is, in this case, it is available in the .class file. It is not available in the source file. Okay, so what will happen if I will go in the client.java class, and if I will just start creating an employee new object, employee new equal to new employee new class, and here we have to provide the name as Arpita is the employee name, and the employee ID is 8541, right? Let us go and check what is the employee name here. So this will be employee new dot get employee name. So it is available, you can see. And second is employee ID, get employee ID. So here I will provide new employee name and new employee ID. I will run this program, and you can see the output will be the same what you are providing at the time of creation of an object. So you can see the first time, at the time of creation of an object, we have been provided Dev and 1458 as an employee ID. For the new employee, at the time of creation of an object, the employee name was Arpita and employee ID was 85412. So that is being accessed by this particular system.out.println statement. So this is the way that we are going to use the Lombok API, and basically it is reducing the boilerplate code, which is nothing but it is these all code from line number 7 to line number 26, which is available in your project more than one places. For all the classes, all the model classes, you are declaring the private variables, you are providing the setter and getter method, and based on the requirement you are generating the constructor as well. So all these boilerplate code has been removed by using this particular Lombok API annotation. So guys, this is very easy. In the next session we are going to see that how to configure the Lombok in Spring Tool Suite and Eclipse, and how to configure the Lombok in IntelliJ IDEA. If this session is helpful for you, then go ahead and like this video and subscribe this channel. Thank you for your time and thanks a lot.